Okay, today we're going to learn the halachas how to machshir of people. Can machshir the clay schuchis, glassware, whether it's a cup from glass or a plate from glass, or also the cup that's made out of silverware. So it's brought in Shulchan Aruch Tov Nun Aleph, halacha chavav. Clay schuchis, afilu machnisan lekiyum, ואפילו משתמש בהם בחומין, אין צריכים שום הכשר. שאינם בוילים ובשטיפה בעל נסוגלו. That's the shit of many Rishonim, mainly the Rashba. He holds that since the klei schuchis are they're not porous, they don't swallow anything. They're very smooth. So according to the Rashba, klei schuchis don't need any hechsher. Even you use them with a hot. He says all you have to do just wash them off, rinse them, and they're kosher. So that's how they also use like a basar b'cholov. According to the Rashba, that's what the mechaber paskin la'alocha. So according to the Svardim, they could take klei schuchis from chometz, anything made out of glass, plate, bowl, cup, and just rinse them, and they're kosher l'pesach. That's according. You're looking at me, guys, like it's not me. It's a Shulchan Aruch. I know what you want from me. Now comes the Ramo. The Ramo says, "V'yesh machmirim v'oimrim the klei schuchis afilu hagol l'manalu." This machlok is mamash too extreme. The one shit of Rashba, many other Rishonim, the klei schuchis, they're smooth. They don't need bichlal. They don't swallow anything. They don't need any hechsher. Just wash them off, rinse them off, and they're good. The other extreme, that's the shit of many Rishonim. That's what the Ramo follows. That v'yesh machmirim v'oimrim the klei schuchis afilu hagol l'manalu. Not only that you need to machshir them. The regular hechsher kelim that just if you use with the hot water, you're going to make hagolah with hot boiling water. That doesn't help over here. The reason for it, they hold. You're right. The klei schuchis that you might argue that they are smooth, they don't swallow anything. But since first you could argue scientifically if it's so, if it swallows or not. That's what the argument of there is scientifically. It's not just halachic. They hold it could swallow something. And by the way, one of the proofs I could say, I mean, you could still argue and make a coffee in klei schuchis. A lot of times you do see after you wash it, it's become a little bit brownish. So the it does take something. Again, I'm not getting into this science. It's too many Rishonim, two shittas, saying this way and the other. So according to the Rishonim, that swallow and Memela normally is okay. It's swallow. Go machshir them. No, that doesn't help. Why? We compare the klei schuchis to klei cheres, made out of clay, and because the origin of klei schuchis is of the sand. So Memela, since we compare them to klei cheres, and klei cheres you cannot machshir them. That's why he says we don't use them at all. Okay, so that's one halacha. Now, the Magen Avraham brings, and he brings from the Darchei Moshe. Even the Darchei Moshe, the one is machmir and the Ramah, but he says ubedi'eved en lahachmir. So he explains what's right en la bedi'eved. If it's something you use betzoinen, afilu b'lo hagola kosher. If you use that something cold and it was rinsed and clean, but bedi'eved that would be okay. And if something you use hot coffee during the year, it might be chometz. So the you have to do hagola again. Lechatchila according to the Ramah, don't do that, but it's still kosher. No. Then the Magen Avraham adds v'nirali the omad b'chometz me'esel edjina ketashmisha b'chomen. If you didn't use it, never a cup for hot, but it was there for 24 hours chometz, even in cold, it's kovash kamabushal. He says it would be considered like you used it b'chomen memele, so you need hagola. Now the only kasha I have on this Magen Avraham, normally when the poskim write v'nirali, it's der chidush. It's b'chal not his chidush. It's brought way before him. The Darchei Moshe brings this, other Rishonim bring this. That and this halacha, not generally that's kovash kamavushal, that if you soak something 24 hours, become like you cooked of it, even in a cold. So it's brought before. So I don't know why the Magen used over here the lashon v'nirali. Like I said, the other mechaberim before him mentioned this, that if something was soaked in this cup for 24 hours, it's kovash kamavushal. It's need to be. You need to go through hagol again. Lechatchila we don't do any of that according to the Ramah. But if you're ready, but if you did that. Or a lot of times the poskim say, but yeah, but that's also shasat chag. If somebody in a place that's mamish has nothing else, just klei schuchis, so he could either rinse them if they was used in cold, or do hagol if they was used in hot. Okay. Then he brings legabe. And by the way, that's we spoke about this in Bechalal generally. Maybe we're going to have another shiur on this. Some people might say, I'm a Sfardi, so I'm going to use the cup, klei schuchis, glassware from chametz, because according to Rashba, there's no problem in the mechaber. It's not so posh. It depends where you live, and sometimes, again, it's a lot of details. Sometimes the minhag hamokim would dominate, regardless who you are. It could be, since the Ramo says we don't rely on this heter, aser. So it depends where you live. Depends which shul you go to. That's again, it's another shiur on its own. When you say you have your own minhag, when you follow the minhag hamokim, so sometimes you have to follow this minhag Ramo, not to use kles chuches. Now, the gabe silverware, it says. The gabe the silverware, it says over here that if the silver also the same thing, even you use most of the time. The kiddush cup, most of the time we use it in the cold. Nobody put a hot on the silver; it gets hot right away. Nobody uses usually silver for hot. But if somebody wants to use is cup from chametz, you have to machshir it, because maybe it was a kobush kamavush, maybe you left over there something, whether a beer, whether pieces of bread fell into your wine and was there more than 24 hours. Well, it needs hagolah. However, there's one problem could be in a kalim of silver, and that's what the Rama brings over here. And also all of it in Tov Nun Aleph. It says like this. Kol hakelim she'esh b'hem sdokim o gumois o chaluda. Any kalim that's having them some cracks or you have crevices, or you have a rust on them. He said, it's inside the kli from the inside. You cannot really clean them well. He says, and lagila, meaning you have to have a smooth surface to make hagolah. So you cannot make, unless a lot of times happen, and sometimes even in some kiddush cups you have some engravings inside. So according to this, it will be a problem to magil them. He said, and in such a case, what you would need to do, you need to do a libun. You have to use a torch or fire to machshir them. Oh, so
rust is a problem?
That's what they are. You have to clean it first. Yeah.
Rust isn't part of the metal?
No, you have to clean it first. Yeah. Okay. No, because it could be in between the pieces of frost could get stuck over there, so that's why you have to be a smooth surface. Now, the Mogen Avram brings over here, mashma de mebechutz and a mazik. That's stuck over here. It's not his chidush also. Others bring this. That's all this chumrah. That's when you have a kli that has some cracks in it, or some rust, or thing that's not smooth surface. That he says it's only bifnim. It's only inside the kli. Outside the kli, you don't have to worry about it, because if the inside is smooth, you could machshir it. Okay, Avi, please.